Hello everyone, my name is Ray Bowman and this is my Week 6 multimedia presentation for MPA540 Human Resource Management for the Public Sector. The focus for today's presentation is my training video for Week 6. So part 1 of the assignment for this week provides some context regarding my training video. The training topic that I chose is how to complete your department budget worksheets. And in this scenario, I'm providing a quick web-based training session to my audience who are composed of city staff who are generally part of the budget process. This will include administrative staff from all operating departments such as the city manager's office, police, fire, community services, public works, and community development. This type of training is typically provided at least once a year at budget kickoff, and it helps current and even new staff refresh their training on the budget process. Typically, this kind of training is included in a lengthier budget workshop, but we only have a few minutes today, so we'll chop up the training to a few minutes, and the desired outcome of this kind of training is to help staff complete their budget worksheets for proposal to the city manager and ultimately for council approval. So the video strategy that I chose for this training video is both presentation using PowerPoint, or in my case, Keynote, which is Apple's version of PowerPoint, as well as screencasting using Screenplay. The reason behind the combination is that the presentation provides a formal platform for the session, and the screencast helps with the live demonstration and the video in the corner here of the training portion of the video to make it more interactive. This will help the audience navigate their own worksheets come their time to complete them. So I did have 5 training and development concepts that I incorporated in coming up with my training video for this week. The first concept is relevance, and this is the idea that skills or knowledge that are imparted must be relevant for the audience getting trained. If the desired objective or training is not directly linked to what the audience may encounter or what their job entails, they might lose motivation or interest in the training session. So the training has to be relevant to the audience. In this case, the staff that'll be training must know how to complete their budget worksheets, as this is a part of their job duties within their operating departments. The second concept is repetition and active participation. Repetition is important in training because most people don't immediately retain new complex information just by hearing it once. It must be reiterated and, more importantly, actively applied to what they're doing. I incorporated this in my training. Repetition is part of the training as this happens multiple times, especially during budget kickoff. We have multiple sessions of this how-to training, and it's also recorded so that anyone who needs to hear the concept again can simply play the recording. Part of active participation is hosting a quiz at the end so that we can engage the audience during the training session. The third concept is web-based learning. This training session will be held remotely. The audience, in this case the operating staff, are all located at different places or different public facilities. So they're not all centrally located at City Hall, so sometimes it's hard for everyone to participate and we need a wide reach. So some staff are at community centers, some are at the library, public works, police station, fire station. So it's important that we host this virtually so that we can reach a larger target audience. The fourth concept is that it is an in-house presentation. This training will be held as a mandatory training session for staff that are involved in the budget process. Since it is mandatory, some folks may just sit in on it and some might find it boring, so it's important to keep the training engaging, hence the video in the corner and the pop quiz at the end. And lastly is leadership development. This concept is important as there are skills and tools that are vital for leadership to learn, and training on those should be an active part of their development as management. In this instance, in particular, department heads and managers are invited to attend as they are ultimately responsible for the budget proposals that are presented to the city manager and ultimately to city council. And now on to the training video. Prior to that, getting started, here's a quick reference of our textbook, of course, because of the 5 concepts that I presented on the previous slide. Now it's on to the training video. Hello everyone, my name is Ray Bowman. Welcome to today's budget workshop presentation for our budget process for fiscal year 2025-26. I am part of your administrative services team here in the city, and today we'll briefly go over part one of your budget training, which is how to complete your budget worksheets. This is an important part of the budget process, and it is the first step in building your operational budgets for the next fiscal year. After today's brief session, you'll know how to complete your worksheets for your department. As a quick overview of today's presentation, we'll briefly review our training outcome, take a look at some key dates and important deadlines for the budget process, go through a live demonstration of your budget worksheets, and lastly, stay until the end for a chance to win a prize. So our training outcome for this session is to develop a meaningful budget and complete your budget worksheets on a timely and effective manner. Because we have some key dates and timelines that we have to keep in mind, we have our budget worksheet deadline, which is due on August 31st, 2025, so you'll have a few weeks to complete your department budget worksheets. The meeting with the city manager on your completed worksheets will happen on the week of September 8th, and lastly, the budget study session with council will happen on the evening of Tuesday, September 30th. And now on to the live demo. So after today's training session, you'll get an email from myself with a link to all of your department budget worksheets. They will look like this. So what you're taking a look at is a sample department budget worksheet for finance, and you'll notice that it has a few different components. One is the accounts that are relevant to your department, and you'll also have 3 years worth of historical actual data, as well as the current 2024-2025 year-to-date actuals. For this example, for finance operations, and these are just example numbers, we have 3 accounts that we're taking a look at. We need to budget for office supplies, professional services, food, and meals. So when you complete your budget worksheet, you open it up, you'll essentially focus on this yellow column right here. So that is your proposed fiscal year 2025-2026 proposed budgetary figures. What you'll do is, of course, look at your year-to-date budget reports that come from administrative services, but you can also take a look at the data that's provided on your budget worksheets, which are your historical actuals. For example, for office supplies, you can see that your office supplies costs are increasing year over year, and that could be for a few different things. One, costs of supplies have just gone up, and two, maybe you have an increased need, maybe more staff are using it, or maybe you had some programmatic changes during the recent years that necessitated more supplies. So using these historical actuals, you might be able to propose, hey, you know what, we're going to say that we're going to try to hold the line and spend $4,500 on our budgets for next fiscal year, and you can key that in. The second is professional services. So I would look again at the year-to-date budget reports that we provide and look at the detail for the professional services and kind of determine how much you might need using those reports. Say we have a big project coming up in finance operations this year, and we'll need to beef up our actuarial professional services. So I might propose $5,000 for that this year. Again, just be ready to provide the rationale for any big fluctuations up or down on those budgetary numbers. Food and meals is a critical component of your operations, of course, if your department provides that. And we could see that, again, year over year, food has gone up. So I might be able to propose, say, holding the line again, or maybe even incorporating some savings on food and meals and only proposing $1,000 there. As you can see, as you complete your budget proposals, your totals will total at the very bottom automatically for you. If you have any planned machinery and equipment purchases, say for your department, you're thinking, I need a new printer, a new copier, a new fax machine, a new scanning machine, and those estimates might be $3,000. You can type that in. And of course, don't forget to hit save. Once you've completed your estimates, just make sure that you have notes that support what those budgetary kind of summaries are. You know, what makes up the 4,500, what might make up the 3,000, and again, any rationale for fluctuations up or down. Once you've completed your budget proposals in those yellow columns, please send me an email. I can go over them with you if you have any questions and go over any questions that we might have before they get presented to the city manager during the meeting on the week of September 8th. And that, my friends, is a quick overview of how to complete your budget worksheets for your expenditures. Should be super simple, but again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out directly to me or any of the budget team. And with that, we'd like to thank you for your time, but not before we let you go with a chance to win prizes. So, pop quiz question: when are your completed worksheets due? The first 5 participants to send me an email with the correct answer wins a Starbucks gift card. So good luck to all of you, and thanks so much for joining today's Part 1 Budget Workshop presentation, and we'll see you again soon. And that completes my presentation for week 6 for my training video. Thank you so much in advance for your feedback, and have a great rest of the day.